I truly feel like 2025 is going to be like easy mode. I think so much of us are now kind of jaded by having to try so hard and we just wish it could be easy. There's a reason why so many of us, when we decide to like choose our little style words, so many people choose words like easy, comfortable, effortless. There's a couple things that I wanted to dive into a little bit more. The first being realistic inspiration and kind of crossover points, and we'll get into that in a second. And the second being unexpected delights. Thinking about realistic inspiration, I just did a video on recreating Pinterest outfits, which I'm going to do a few more of those. What is realistic inspiration to me, and like what is it that is inspiring me from these images? And so for me, I like to think about like crossover points. The crossover point essentially for me is like where the rubber meets the road, like where the inspiration meets reality, real life. Somebody commented on that Pinterest video that there's like a phrase in the beauty community that's called duping the vibes. And I think that's what we're reaching for when we're going after a Pinterest image. We're trying to recreate the vibes. We know it's not about just buying the exact same pieces that someone else is wearing or like even wearing the same colors necessarily. Like it's the vibes, it's the feeling. Sometimes it is purely aesthetic, like that specific ring is gorgeous and that's what I want. But oftentimes it's just the vibes that we're trying to create. A crossover point might be, say, like a playful element. If they have this fun like charm necklace and maybe you have like a fun beaded necklace, that would create the same element or the same vibe. Or maybe if you just enjoy the combination of like the blue and the yellow together and you create a similar kind of color story within your own outfit. But the crossover points really are a much softer way to access inspiration because it's not really about copy and paste. The last year especially, there was so many aesthetics that came out, you know, like Tomato Girl Summer and like all these ballet core and like kind of flash in the pan, like here one day and gone the next. But I think like focusing too much on the aesthetic, it really does a lot of a disservice to our personal style because it seems so fleeting and so transient, and then we're left feeling kind of dissatisfied. It hasn't really given us anything lasting as far as inspiration. Whereas if you look at an image that kind of has this emotional resonance with you, you can then recreate something that gives you more insight into who you are, how you want to dress. It kind of informs your outfits going forward. Like Tomato Girl Summer is not going to inform your winter outfits. However, if you enjoy like a playful element, that's going to inform your outfits going forward. You might bring a playful attitude into your winter dressing where like the Tomato Girl kind of would not have any relevance in that moment. And thinking again about like what I said at the start, I don't want it to be hard work. This is really just using inspiration and Pinterest and all of that kind of thing as a way to know myself deeper. I guess the more that we access like the feelings and the vibes, the easier it is then to get in front of our own wardrobe and just create our own effortless sense of an outfit and of dressing without having to constantly reference back to a Pinterest photo. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was unexpected delights. The thing about unexpected delights is that they're spontaneous and you can't plan for them. On this day, I'm going to be inspired by this thing. You know, it's something that is just like this magic gift that comes. The reason why I feel like there's so much clarity in these little mini delights is because nobody has told us to be delighted about these things. They're not something that's trending. They're not something that you saw on a top 10 must-have list. They're just something that spontaneously arrived and landed into your life and you found yourself just naturally loving, effortlessly loving in this sort of like bubble of joy, this like, oh my gosh, like love moment. That's how you truly know like, okay, this is actually my taste. Because it's very easy oftentimes to like put together a streamlined outfit that like kind of looks good head to toe or whatever, but you still don't feel quite like yourself in that outfit. Maybe it looks like a great Pinterest outfit. Maybe it looks like a great social media post. But again, like it doesn't really speak to you. You don't really feel like this is me and I love this. Whereas when you have those elements that are personally so delightful to you, that's how you know you've really like nailed some aspect of your personal style. Nobody could have predicted that. Nobody could have put that into an aesthetic. It's just something that is distinctly yours. There's just so much external noise right now as far as social media and inspiration, and I think so much of us just look outwards for that confirmation that we're doing the right thing. I don't know, we're all getting a bit sick of it. We're all getting a bit overwhelmed by having so much external dictation of how we should look. Yeah, I think a lot of us are just starting to get a little bit more brave as far as trusting ourselves, just carving out a little bit more of that kind of personal kind of, I don't know, that personal kind of niche, that personal groove for ourselves where we know what we like, we know it looks good on us. You know, we don't need that external validation so much. For me, some of the unexpected delights have been, like, for example, starting to collect some vintage and antique pieces of jewelry. The more that I research and the more that I learn and the more that I am like looking into it, the more, you know, inspired and passionate I'm getting in that realm. I've always loved antiques. I've always loved vintage. There's also that part of my heart that really is so nostalgic and, you know, thinks about the whimsy of like different times that have gone by, like the romance and the different kind of speed that life has gone in the past. And especially I think vintage jewelry as well has so much story and so much history. You know, for example, any kind of like solid gold or like gemstones, things that become heirlooms, things that become passed down. I also used to have like a very large collection of crystals and gemstones before I moved to New Zealand, but just also now having them in jewelry form is something so special to me as well. And just coming back to that love that I had for gemstones, but just in a new way. Yeah. Anyway, that's been an unexpected delight for me. Stay tuned for my 2025 style goals video, which will be coming out towards the end of this month as well. So excited to just really think a lot about what are my New Year's resolutions for 2025 as far as style. And I'll be so keen to hear your guys's as well. Bit of a rambly one today, but anyway, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you very shortly in my next one.